This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time, especially as more and more people, especially young people, are taking up streaming. And more often than not, they realize the reality of streaming and growing a channel is not as easy as they thought it would be. In this video, I wanted to talk about what to expect as a new streamer, including the sort of income you can expect, but also offer up a number of things that I've learned over the years that may help others. Just for some context, I've been streaming now for over 7 years and a Twitch partner for just over 6. I've ridden the roller coaster up and down, and over that time I've learned a lot, but certainly not everything. Regularly I get asked by people, what tips would you give me for growing on Twitch? And there really is no definitive answer to that. I'm still trying to grow 7 years in, and it's a very different journey for everyone. And while I'll try and answer a few of those questions that will help people, I wanted to focus on the reality of what to expect as someone who streams every day. I'm going to be completely open about my earnings and how variable it really is. So, streaming is just playing games all day, right? It's hard to argue that this isn't the case, but it's only part of the story. If you want to make content for Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, then you have to dedicate time to making that content, and it is very time consuming. If you stream on YouTube, you also need to spend time making a thumbnail, titles, and you're likely going to have lots of emails to go through as well, some of which may be time sensitive, and you may even have some meetings with companies to talk about future work or some business opportunities. All of this needs to be accounted for, and of course you need to fit this around your regular day. I saw something online a few weeks ago which resonated with me, because I've been guilty of this myself. But it asked the question, do you want to be a gaming creator or a content creator? And the idea was that some people just want to stream games all day, and that's fine, but often that won't lead you to growth. You need to offer value to the viewer, whether that's from a stream or VOD content, because that's the entire point. If you're streaming just because you enjoy the community and you're not interested in making it a full-time thing, then that's fine. But if you want it to be more, you have to change your mindset. So how much can you earn? That's what everyone wants to know. As streaming has become more of a norm over the past few years, the younger generation are a lot more aware of content creators. And more often than not, they look up to them in the same way as, say, a footballer or actor. Because of this, they see them making money and being successful, and they want to do that as well. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the reality is that to make streaming a full-time gig is an incredibly hard ask, and most people will never achieve it. In my mind, there are a few categories of streamers. There are pro gamers, who people watch because they are exceptionally good at a game. And then there are people who are natural entertainers, and viewers watch them because they are funny or easy to watch. Of course, you have people that split between those two and may not fit into a certain category, but unless you have something that makes you stand out, it's incredibly hard to achieve real growth. The earnings you can make as a streamer come from a number of sources. First of all, you can make money from subs on Twitch or members on YouTube. Pretty much the same thing. There is, of course, ad revenue on both platforms, as well as donations, cheering, and alike. Let's just group these together for now as specific sources. So YouTube has its membership, ad revenue, Twitch has cheering, subs, etc. Then you have sponsorship and brand deals that companies may approach you with. Say, for example, an agency would like to offer you X amount to play their game for 2 hours. These rates are obviously going to depend on your average viewership and connection to the brand, but because of confidentiality, I don't think it's right if I share any rates that I've been offered from companies. Some streamers, though, have a lot of sponsorships and brand deals quite regularly, and others don't. It just depends on the individual. I personally don't have a lot of sponsorships over the years. I have had them, but it's not a regular part of my Twitch income. You may also get an affiliate scheme with a company, whereby you get a certain percentage of any sales you send their way, if you agree to promote their brand. I have one such partnership with a healthy energy drink company called Beyond. I partnered with them before they even launched their product because I liked what they stood for. But you need to be really careful when becoming an affiliate for a company. Some will look to use you to promote their brand with very little in it for you. Also, don't take every sponsorship that comes your way. Pick and choose the ones that fit with your viewer base and your channel. If you regularly take every brand deal that comes your way, even when the content doesn't match your usual content, viewers will see through it pretty quickly. If you're lucky enough to grow a community, you may also get a small amount of income from merchandise like t-shirts, hoodies, for example. But that's not a surefire income, and unless you can design them yourselves, there's also an initial outlay to pay a designer. If you are in need of an incredible designer, then look no further than a man called Tyson. He's done all of my merch over the years, and he's incredibly talented. I'll leave his link below. Going back to Twitch for a second, I said I would share my amounts with you, so here goes. To give some context, I've taken my earnings from September last year. And I've taken September because it was a fairly normal month in terms of hours streamed and the amount earned. I streamed for 164 hours, or 163 and 59 minutes to be precise, and I earned $427 for my troubles. $222 of that was from paid subs, $58 from Prime subs, and $90 from gifted subs. I also earned $26 from ads, but it's important to note that I never ran a manual ad once, nor did I accept my ad incentive offer, so the earnings from ads were simply down to pre-rolls. I also earned $27 from cheering. For context, this was November's Twitch earnings, which was a little lower, but I streamed for less because I was trying to get partnered on YouTube. I mentioned ad incentive offers, and Twitch has started to offer these to affiliates and partners. Essentially, they offer you a set amount of money, but you have to stream for a certain amount of hours, and you have to run a certain amount of ads per hour. Assuming you hit the required amount, you get the specified amount. I've had offers ranging from $100 to $350, even as low as $34. And that's for 3 minutes of ads to be run every hour and a requirement of over 100 hours. The offers are very variable and you can't really rely on them. Lastly, on the topic of money, please don't get into streaming in the hope you're going to be making a living off it. It's the wrong way to approach things. Stream because it's fun and because you want to. And if you manage to make it into something more, that's just a bonus. I've been streaming for 7 years and I'm still not close to making it a full-time job. And while I appreciate not everyone is in the same situation as me, and some people might be able to make it work with a channel my size. In fact, I've seen Twitch streamers of my size with triple the amount of subs that I have. So if I'm being hypercritical of myself, I've not really achieved where I wanted to be for the amount of time I've been streaming. So I'm not saying that my case is the norm, but it's absolutely not a walk in the park to grow your stream into something sustainable. What everyone else says to do. There's so much advice out there telling you exactly what you need to do to succeed as a streamer, and while some of it's useful, most of it is honestly just waffle. The best advice I can offer is to have some sort of consistency. Doesn't have to be a 7-day week, but the more consistent you can be, the more likely you are to get returning viewers. Let's say you manage to get 2 to 5 regular viewers. If they know you're going to be live at certain times on certain days, they are far more likely to tune in than if you stream at different times on different days with no pattern. I've gone through periods when I've not been able to maintain a regular schedule due to various reasons, and I've had times where I've been really consistent, and consistency absolutely does help. It's not a smoking gun, but it's better to have it than not. That doesn't mean you should force yourself to stream though. Streaming has to be fun, otherwise what's the point? If you can't fit it into your schedule, or you're playing games that you think are popular but don't want to play, then it's time to make a change. More often than not, on Twitch at least, it's actually better to stream a less popular game and be higher up on the list for that game than stream a saturated game and be lost in the crowd. Also, don't go bonkers on gear just because you think you need it. Over the years, I've sometimes been caught up in the, oh, I need this camera, or I need this, or I need whatever, and that will somehow make my content better. It won't. You don't even need a camera, but I would personally recommend one. You can get extremely good webcams for a really affordable price these days. You do not need a really expensive DSLR. Also, don't get caught up in the idea of a streaming PC. Lots of streamers have a second PC to take care of the streaming side of things, and it's great for a lot of reasons. If your gaming PC crashes, the stream doesn't stop. Arguably, that's the biggest plus. It also takes a lot of overhead off your main PC. With the latest graphics cards, though, this is starting to become way less of a benefit. PCs are a lot more powerful, with graphics cards having multiple hardware encoders that can easily take care of the streaming side of things without a large drop in performance. Just start small and go from there. The one thing I would say is absolutely necessary, though, is a good mic. And I don't mean a $300 XLR studio mic, because trust me, you do not need that. But at least a good quality one. A lot of headsets have decent quality mics these days, but if you want a standalone one, you can absolutely get a really good USB one for a reasonable price. Personally, one of the worst things, in my opinion, if I tune into a streamer is someone who has really bad audio. So what should you do? It takes a lot of time to get started as a streamer, so you need to be patient. You could be streaming to no one at first. In fact, it's very likely. But always stream the same way if it's to no people, or 5, or 50, or 500. I've always been told don't have your viewer count visible at all so it doesn't impact your mindset. And while this is solid advice, it would be really hypocritical for me to advise you to do it when I can't even stick to that myself. If you can stream and not have your viewer count showing to yourself so you've no idea how many people are there, then do it. But I've tried it and I find it really difficult. I like to know. Try your best as well to utilize other platforms to grow. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, regardless of if you're streaming on YouTube or not, are a great way to promote your content. In fact, I would even go as far as to say to spend less time streaming and more time making that short form content. YouTube Shorts, for instance, is a great way to grow your stream, even if your stream isn't on YouTube. I think as things have evolved, it is now more beneficial to spend even 2 hours less streaming and use that time to make YouTube Shorts or even long-form content that can help promote your streams while you're not live. More recently as well, I've also started planning some streams with a long-form video in mind. And all that means is I'm going into a stream knowing that I want to turn it into a video, so kind of changes your mindset on exactly how you want to play the game and what you want to show off in the video. You can't do this with every stream, but just have it in the back of your mind. Try and focus on quality over quantity. When I first started streaming, I would do a lot of 24-hour streams. And while I've got older and somewhat wiser, I've realized that that is not the way to go. If you want to do a special event or something like that, that's entirely up to you. But I've realized that doing 24-hour streams, while they seem like a good idea and they get hype, the content that you're providing, especially when you get tired, isn't actually good content. It's way more beneficial to do shorter streams that provide better content. It's harder to grow now as a streamer on any platform due to how oversaturated it is, so you need to use every tool in your toolbox. Dedicating yourself to one game is also fairly risky. It may seem like a good idea, and to an extent it is, but it can cause you issues down the line. Say for instance you only want to play Warzone, and you spend your time growing a Warzone stream and you've now got 50 viewers. If all of your viewers are used to seeing you streaming Warzone, those viewers may not be there if you decide you are now going to play Battlefield or Apex or something entirely different. That's not to say you shouldn't play Warzone. If that's the game you want to play, then play it. It's just something to bear in mind. The most important thing with streaming is to find what works for you and to always have fun. If you're not having fun, you're just not doing it right. So what are the negatives of streaming? Playing games, streaming, or being a content creator is a ton of fun. There's no doubt about that. But it's not without its pitfalls. First of all, if you're a full-time content creator, you have zero job security. It's you, usually employed as a self-employed person, and you rely entirely on your income from your platform of choice and sponsorships. This means you may have good months, but you may have bad months as well. Income can be incredibly variable, and so you need to be planning ahead. And you can certainly feel the pressure if your income isn't what you were expecting it to be. Having this in the back of your mind while also trying not to change your content for the worse can be a very difficult thing to manage. If content creation is your only source of income, you also don't have the benefits of being employed. No sick pay, no holiday pay, or even a pension. You need to plan with these things in mind. Burnout and mental strain is also a real thing. If you stream 6 to 10 hours a day, and then you also try and plan other video content, maybe YouTube Shorts or TikTok videos like I do and plenty of other streamers do, you can often feel the effects of burnout. Mental health is incredibly important, and as I'm learning now, it's way more important to look after yourself first before anything else. As a streamer or content creator, you often never switch off either, not 100%. Even when you're done with the stream, you're already doing something else, planning, graphics, emails, Twitter, or just keeping tabs on what's going on with a specific game. I find myself never truly switching off. I'm always on my phone if I'm not on my PC. As I've got older, I've realized I need to at least spend some time completely switching off, unplugged if you will, and I recommend no matter how difficult it is for you, that you do the same. There is also a feeling, and it is true to an extent, that if you take a break, you can lose viewership. I'm not going to lie, this can be the case with long breaks. But if you've built up a viewership, you have to trust that they'll be there when you get back. Take the time you need to ensure you stay healthy and recharged. Lastly, you need a thick skin as a streamer. No matter who you are, you're going to get some bad characters coming into the stream and usually saying things specifically to get a reaction out of you. Being able to deal with those without taking it personally and also just keeping the stream moving along may seem easy to some, but everyone is different and it's easier said than done for some people. In conclusion, streaming can be incredibly rewarding, especially once you build up a community and you have regulars coming back day on day. But I hope that I've shown you that it is not as easy or glamorous as it may appear from the outside. This is not meant to be a cry for sympathy for streamers by any stretch of the imagination. We do what we do because we enjoy it. But it's more of a warning so that people getting into the industry know exactly what to expect. There are plenty of other benefits to streaming as well, including gaining confidence and improving socially, not to mention gaining new friends. I've absolutely gained friends for life. But if you want to make this a full-time thing, it's going to be hard work, and you need to be prepared for it.